lucky that we have a longtime partner who would like to speak to us tonight about being a partner, being a mentor, and what that's meant to her.
Thank you for your remarks. Those were wonderful, and you are certainly a credit to Christ the King and an amazing story. I'm going to be quick. I know that every partner in this room is going to have a similar story to this, so I'm just going to share with you my individual case, but I think everybody here who's a partner will recognize themselves in some of these remarks. We know that numerous studies confirm how vital mentoring can be. You've heard about it this evening, especially during teenage years. Those years, kids are at a crossroads. They are at turning points every day. They've got all sorts of pressures, all sorts of difficulties, and you can tell from the stories we've heard tonight that the kids in the inner cities are carrying burdens that are even greater. Add in social media, and it is a volatile, volatile time. So I think mentoring is a critical component to keeping kids at risk on the straight and narrow. But when I thought about being a mentor, on the one hand, I know it's effective, I know it's important, but on the other hand, I was nervous. It was going to be a big time commitment. Did I know how to do it properly? Well, I'm here to tell you that SPA, Student Partner Alliance, sets up this mentoring relationship to succeed from the beginning, to be effective from the beginning. I was partnered with Asia. She was a student at Marist, and I met her 4 years ago. I met her as a very, very shy 14-year-old at a Marist breakfast that Student Partner Alliance would hold. I was a very shy 56-year-old. Because I've raised 3 boys, and teenage girls to me are a species that I don't know. But she was so soft-spoken, but so sweet, and only 14, and I learned that very first day she had a dream, and she wanted to go to medical school. And so we were off and running. And because of the SPA program and the way it's set up, our relationship grew easily and organically over the 4 years. I become now, 4 years later, I'm a resource for her. I'm a coach for her. I'm a cheerleader, and I'm a confidant. And because it is a two-way relationship, she's a cheerleader for me, and she's a confidant for me. But it wasn't always that way. I would say freshman and sophomore year, our relationship was sort of a slow burn. But as we got to know each other, it grew and grew. And by the time she hit junior year and senior year, we're fast friends. And I really am grateful that she's in my life. I want to let you know that being a mentor through SPA, in fact, isn't that hard because of the way it's set up. Yes, I write a check once a year. That's a pleasure to do, and I know how vital it is to keep these kids in these wonderful schools. Twice a year, I meet Asia at a breakfast. I walk in, Asia walks in, the bagels are there, the coffee's there. It's all set up for me. The logistics are covered, and we get to do what's important. We get to start talking right away. How are you? How are things going? There's a breakfast in the fall, a breakfast in the spring. We've been doing it every year. It's part of the rhythm. That's how we check in. Once or twice a year, I would go with Asia to one of the special events that SPA sets up, a holiday party or a community service event. Again, logistics are covered. I show up, Asia shows up, and within 2 or 3 minutes, we're digging in a garden, and we're talking, and we're checking in. And how are things going? How's that class? How's that drama you told me about with those 4 girls? What's going on with your little sisters? A natural, easy, organic relationship. It's easy to build that when you're working with SPA. Some of these events are short and sweet, but they're each fundamental. They're each pieces of the building that you're putting together. 4 times a year, I open my mail. Well, I open my mail every day, but 4 times a year, 4 times a year in the mail would be Asia's grades. Perfect time to look at things, see how they're doing, and to send a text. Texting is the tool of mentoring that is the best of all. How are you doing? Got your grades. I'm so proud of you. You're doing so well in physics. I can't even believe that. What's going on with history? And she would text back, I'm having a trouble with the teacher, and I don't understand it. So it would be an exchange, 5 or 6 exchanges. Go talk to him. I'm sure he wants to help you. You can do it. You'll be fine. And once a month, I set an alert on my phone to send in a random text. I'm thinking of you. How's things going? Everything fine? I know you're busy. You don't have to answer me right now, but you do have to answer me. I want to know how you are. I care. I don't know if it occurred to her that she was getting texts on the 15th of the month every month, but that's when they were. So that's kind of the basics. If you can write a check, go to a few breakfasts, dig in the dirt once or twice, send some texts, and care about a child's grades, and send that messaging through, that kind of support means a world of difference to all of these kids. There are opportunities to do way more than that, but at the very basics, that very basic level, that would be a huge step. Other things happened between Asia and me that grew out naturally from our relationship. She asked me if I would be a job reference. Well, of course. Bed and Bath called one afternoon, very happy to give her a glowing recommendation. She asked me if I would write this past year a college recommendation. Of course, easy for me to do. And last year, getting ready for her junior summer, because she wanted to go to medical school, working with Steve Busby, we found an internship for her in a medical facility, which was really a critical thing for her to put on a resume and to be able to write about. She worked in a woman's clinic, and she texted me one day, "I saw a baby being born today." And it was just a wonderful, life-changing thing. And I want to tell you that to get ready for the interview, to get this internship, I know all the schools do a wonderful job of interview prep. They really do, but Asia wanted to do a little more. So I went to Marist, and we found a corner, and we role-played, and we asked questions and things. And then I said, okay, now you're ready for the interview. Let's talk about when you walk in the door. I want you to have her name, the person you're interviewing, in your head, ready to go, and you're going to shake my hand, and we walked through the whole thing. And then I stopped her. I said, Asia, we have to work on the handshake. And she rolls her eyes. I said, no. You can't. Firm handshake, look me in the eye, smile. She, again, rolls her eyes. She goes, Mrs. Funk. I said, no, firm handshake. Asia, this is your handshake for the rest of your life. This is your handshake. So she just tolerated me. And a few days later, I drove her to her interview, and I'm waiting in the parking lot with a book in the car. And an hour later, she throws open the door, and she lands in my passenger seat, and she said, oh, she was wonderful. I think I'm going to get the internship. It was great. Thank you. She really liked my handshake, which was great. Along the way, I've had a chance to meet her little sisters and her mom. I've been to her home in Newark for her birthday. Next week, I'm going to go photograph her in a prom dress, and I'm looking forward to graduation. So the relationship is definitely a two-way street, because as I'm doing these things for her, I'm the recipient of birthday wishes and Christmas wishes, concerns about my dog, and concerns about my family. I coach her through her challenges and share her accomplishments, and it's become an absolute joy. I've worked in the nonprofit space for over 15 years, and we are always trying to reassure our donors that there's a positive ROI. And we want to reassure our volunteers that the outcomes are measurable and they're always positive. I can tell you that Student Partner Alliance ROI and outcomes are guaranteed. The partner schools are remarkable, and the staff at the agency, at SPA itself, is dedicated. And these kids graduate, and we know that's an economic imperative today. High school is the foundation of self-sufficiency, so the results are critical. If you enjoy young adults and if you believe in education, consider taking on a mentoring role, and consider doing it through SPA. All the heavy lifting is done for you. I had to just show up, I had to care about grades, I had to be consistent in my communications, but all the heavy lifting, the organization, the bagels, it's all done for you. I want to let you know that for me, meeting Asia and having her in my life has been a joy. It's been a wonderful bond with a terrific kid. There's such a quiet satisfaction in watching her grow. There's such a delight in knowing she's starting a new chapter in September in college, and her dream is now my dream. If any of you are thinking about being a partner, jump in, because there is a terrific 8th grader waiting for you. And I know they may be a chatterbox or they may be shy, but they're terrific, and they could use some mentoring. I'm just going to close with my last breakfast at Marist. I walked into my 8th breakfast, and it was the last one, and there were just hugs. Asia and I were hugging each other, and we immediately sat down and started doing what we need to do, which was chat. She told me about the colleges she'd gotten into, and she was really eager. She was excited to say she'd gotten into Temple University with a nice financial package, but she'd never seen it. Road trip. So on a Saturday morning 3 weeks ago, I picked her up at 6:45. Now that's early for me, but it is brutally early for a teenager. And she slept the entire ride down to Philly. But it was a wonderful day, 3,000 admitted students, a fantastic diversity. She met the dean of the medical school, who was an African-American woman. She went to a science and technology seminar. She toured the dorms. She saw rooms she loved. She saw rooms she was horrified by. And she finally, around 2 o'clock, I could tell, she was ready. She really wanted to say, this is where I want to go. I said, call your mom. Run it through. Check it out with her. Now, her mom, I didn't know this, had given her $450 in cash to make a deposit to hold her spot. She had that in her pocket. She called her mom, and she decided to make a commitment. So we ran over to there were 3,000 kids there. We ran to the housing office, which is first come, first serve. She signed up on the computer, and she became a Temple Owl. She was thrilled, and so was I. It's been a privilege getting to know Asia, and for playing a small role in her development throughout high school. It's been an honor, and I'm just grateful to have her presence in my life. As we walked back to the car on this beautiful sunny day in Philly, she turned to me and she said, thanks, this has been a great day. And I looked at her and said, thanks, this has been a great day. And we drove home, and she slept the entire way. So thank you very much.